Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're the place you come to get past the headlines, sift through these really intriguing stories, these puzzles, and, well, hopefully give you the insights you need to feel truly informed.
Absolutely.
Today we're digging into the Copper Scroll. It's this document just absolutely shrouded in mystery.
It really is.
And our mission basically is to peel back those layers, from the moment it was found, which is an amazing story in itself, right through to these, well, frankly, unsettling theories about what it really contains.
Yeah, there's a lot to unpack there.
Okay, so picture this. It's 1952, Qumran caves near the Dead Sea. Archaeologists are carefully, painstakingly working with these ancient, fragile parchments. The Dead Sea Scrolls everyone's heard about.
Game-changing stuff for biblical history.
Totally. But then, deep in one of the caves, Cave 3, they find something completely unexpected. Not papyrus, not animal skin.
No, it's metal. It's actual copper. Robust, compared to the rest.
Which must have been just, wow.
Oh, completely. And this thing, the Copper Scroll, it immediately stood out. It wasn't like the others at all. No prayers, no prophecies, none of that.
So what was it?
It was a list, meticulously etched, like someone took a stylus to the copper sheets.
And not just like a shopping list.
Definitely not. This list presented a massive puzzle. 64 entries. Okay. Each one describing a specific place where treasures were supposedly hidden. We're talking gold, silver, sacred objects, vast quantities.
So a treasure map, that's the simple label, right?
That's the easy label, yeah. Treasure map, coded message. But honestly, when you really dig into it, a lot of people think it's way more than that.
More how?
Like maybe it's a key to some kind of lost legacy, a roadmap maybe to immense power or knowledge that's been deliberately hidden, maybe guarded, for centuries.
Okay, so suddenly it's not just about digging up gold.
Exactly. The implications here feel, well, bigger, more significant, and maybe, just maybe, more dangerous than finding a pot of gold.
Right, so that's what we're doing today. We're going to follow this trail from Qumran 1952 through the weird, cryptic claims and, right into these theories that say this isn't about treasure. It's about forbidden history, maybe even human origins.
It gets pretty wild.
Let's set the scene a bit more. 1952. What's the world like?
Well, you've got the post-war world still finding its feet. The Cold War is really starting to bite. And Israel is a brand new state, just established, really defining itself. And this whole region, Qumran, becomes this hotbed for archaeology.
Because they'd already found the other scrolls, right?
Precisely. Before the Copper Scroll turned up, they had already made what's arguably one of the biggest archaeological finds of the 20th century. The main Dead Sea Scrolls.
Right, those fragile ones.
Incredibly fragile, some over 2,000 years old. Biblical texts, apocalyptic writings, they gave us this unbelievable window into ancient Jewish life, especially around, say, 70 CE.
The destruction of the temple in Jerusalem.
Exactly, a huge turning point. So, finding more scrolls wasn't shocking, but what they found in Cave 3, that was the shock.
These two copper rolls.
Yeah, brittle, corroded, broken into pieces, but just utterly different, not scriptures. Engraved Hebrew letters, like carved into the metal. It felt like an inventory, a register, nothing like the religious texts.
And when they finally figured out what it said?
Well, the content was just mind-blowing. It listed tons of gold and silver, sacred items, even other important scrolls, all supposedly buried across Judea.
And the value.
If it's real, billions. Easily billions in today's money.
So how did people react back then? Scholars must have been
bewildered, mostly. The mainstream academics were cautious, is it real? Is it just a legend, some kind of pious fiction?
Understandable.
But almost immediately, these other whispers start, rumors that, no, this thing is real and its secrets are actually dangerous. Too dangerous, maybe.
And that tension, right? The academic skepticism versus these kind of underground rumors.
That's what really cemented the mystery from day one. It hasn't really gone away.
Okay, let's talk about why it's so intriguing. You mentioned the detail.
Yeah, the precision. That's what sets it apart from, your typical pirate map or ancient legend. This isn't vague stuff.
No. Give us an example.
Okay, so one entry says something like, in the ruin that is in the valley of Achor, under the steps leading to the east, 40 cubits. A chest of silver and its vessels, 17 talents.
40 cubits. 17 talents. That sounds specific.
Extremely specific. A talent was a massive unit of weight, a fortune, or another one. In the tomb of the third column, 100 gold ingots.
Wow.
And another, in the cistern which is below the rampart, 40 cubits under the large stone. 70 talents of silver?
It keeps going like that.
64 times, 64 entries, all with this kind of remarkable detail pointing to these unbelievable hoards.
But, and this is the big but, isn't it?
This is the central conundrum, exactly. Despite these incredibly precise instructions, nobody's found them, ever.
70 years later, still nothing.
Nothing confirmed. Which leads to the obvious questions, right? Were the treasures just looted ages ago? Romans, maybe.
Possible.
Or are the directions actually coded? Riddles that need a key.
Like, you need to be in the know.
Maybe. Or, and this is where it gets really interesting, is the scroll not really about literal treasure at all? Is it pointing to something else, something deeper?
Okay, so if the treasure hasn't been found despite the detail, the next logical question is, where did this thing even come from? Who wrote it?
Well, the mainstream academic theories are, generally cautious, sensible, you could say.
Like what?
One idea is it's a hidden record of wealth from the Second Temple in Jerusalem. Maybe priests or possibly the Essenes, that Jewish sect linked to Qumran, hid valuables before the Romans destroyed everything in 70 CE.
Hoping to recover it later.
Possibly. Or another view is it's purely symbolic, never meant to be literal, more like a text to inspire faith, showing God's hidden abundance even in terrible times.
Okay, those seem plausible. But then there's the other side.
Oh yeah. The conspiracy view is much darker. They say this wasn't ordinary priests hiding temple gold.
No.
They think it's the work of some kind of secret society operating back then. Preserving knowledge, maybe? That wasn't meant for just anyone.
And the treasures.
Might not be gold or silver at all. That's the jump. Maybe it's ancient technology, forbidden texts. Some even whisper about, well, alien remnants.
Whoa, okay, that's a leap from temple treasure.
It absolutely is. It takes it from history into deep speculation, challenging everything we think we know.
This is where the story apparently gets a bit sinister. The suppression angle.
Right. So after the scroll was translated, the sources we're looking at claim that certain authorities, maybe Israeli officials, some scholars, they moved pretty fast to sort of control the narrative.
Control it how?
Yeah.
What did they allegedly do?
The claims are that expeditions, actual digs trying to find these treasures based on the scroll's directions, were quietly blocked. Yeah, or digging in the specific areas mentioned in the scroll was suddenly restricted. Maybe explained away as needing permits or archaeological preservation, but the timing seemed convenient to some.
And it goes further than just blocking digs.
Apparently so. Some researchers who really pushed, who tried to follow the trail, they reported things like being followed, even threatened, or efforts made to discredit their work professionally.
Okay, hang on. If it's just ancient gold and silver, why would anyone go to those lengths? Why suppress the search?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? And the conspiracy answer is stark. Because the Copper Scroll isn't just an inventory. It's a map.
A map
to knowledge. The kind of knowledge that could seriously destabilize things. Governments, religions, the whole setup.
What kind of knowledge are we talking about?
Some theories point to hidden archives from Solomon's temple, stuff that might rewrite history or challenge religious beliefs.
Okay.
Others go even further. They whisper about the Ark of the Covenant.
The actual Ark.
But maybe not the golden box from the movies. Maybe. A powerful device. Something technological of unknown origin. Finding that, well, you can see why some powers might not want it found.
The idea of hidden knowledge, forbidden secrets, it almost always leads to talk of secret societies, doesn't it?
It's almost inevitable. You immediately think of groups like, say, the Freemasons, with their known focus on Solomon's Temple, or the Knights Templar. There are persistent legends they found something important under the Temple Mount back in the 12th century.
Yeah.
And then you have modern groups claiming lineage from these old orders.
So the theory is the Copper Scroll fits into that somehow.
One idea is that the scroll is like a relic of their tradition, a coded list, maybe passed down, marking not just physical treasure, but these secret spots, repositories of wisdom or power.
Is there anything in the scroll itself that hints at that?
Well, some researchers point to the language. The Hebrew used is apparently quite unusual, a bit archaic or non-standard in places, and the style is very cryptic, suggesting it wasn't written for just anyone to read. Maybe it's a cipher. Only readable if you have the key, if you're initiated into whatever hidden order created it.
And if it is a cipher from a secret society?
And that could explain why, 70 years on, with all our ground-penetrating radar and tech, still no treasure.
Because it's not just lost.
Exactly. It's protected, guarded, known only, perhaps, to a select few who operate outside mainstream history.
Okay, let's really lean into that. What if it's not gold and silver? What if the treasure is something well, more valuable.
This is the hidden knowledge theory, and it's really compelling. The idea is the scroll points to locations of ancient texts.
Texts containing what?
Forbidden sciences, maybe? Cosmic secrets? Some theories even suggest accounts of humanity actually interacting with, non-human intelligences way back.
Okay, now we're really pushing boundaries. Like, what kind of texts specifically?
Imagine finding scrolls that detail, say, the lost sciences of Atlantis, somehow preserved under the Judean Desert. That's one fringe idea. Or, maybe more grounded, instructions for energy generation or other technologies that we're only just starting to grapple with now. Stuff that would completely rewrite our history of science.
And the Ark of the Covenant comes back here, too.
It does. If you view it not as a religious relic, but as potentially a piece of advanced technology, remember the stories of it striking down armies with fire or sound.
Yeah, those are powerful descriptions.
Then the Copper Scroll could be the key, the map to finding and perhaps understanding that technology, to unlocking a whole suppressed history, and that potential, way more than gold, that's what could make it truly dangerous.
If the scroll points to secrets, this big suppressed history, maybe even alien tech, then some people argue it's not really an unsolved mystery anymore.
How so?
The theory goes that powerful forces have already figured it out. They've acted on it. It's not a puzzle waiting to be solved. It's a completed puzzle, and the pieces are already in someone else's hands.
Right, the idea that they already know. And who are they in these theories?
It varies. Some point fingers at elements within, say, the Vatican, suggesting they have access and are making sure nothing contradicts church doctrine.
Okay.
Others claim it's Israeli intelligence, maybe quietly excavating locations, finding things and then classifying them for national security reasons, or maybe something else.
Plausible deniability, perhaps.
And then, of course, you have the global secret societies again, the heirs to the Templars, the Freemasons, whoever. The idea is they don't just know about the scroll, they use it. Like a manual, a guidebook to treasures and maybe technologies they've controlled all along.
Which implies that we, the public, the learners, were just left outside looking in.
Exactly. We get the mystery, the speculation, maybe a few heavily managed museum exhibits. But the real knowledge, the real power, is kept tightly held. Which brings us back to the core question. Why? Why keep it all buried?
Well, if these theories hold any water, the reasons are pretty stark. Think about the consequences.
Okay.
If the literal treasures exist, like billions in gold and silver suddenly appearing, that could crash economies. Total chaos.
True. What about the technology angle?
If it points to some kind of revolutionary technology, energy sources, weapons maybe, that could instantly topple governments, shift the global power balance overnight.
Right. Nobody in power wants that kind of disruption.
And then there's the knowledge aspect. If it reveals historical truths or, say, evidence of non-human contact that fundamentally contradicts established religions or our understanding of human history.
It can shatter belief systems.
Exactly. It's like the ultimate Pandora's box. And from the perspective of those currently holding power, why on earth would they want to open it for the rest of us? The potential for chaos, for revolution, it's immense.
Much easier to keep the lid clamped down.
Precisely. So the scroll sits there. In museums, these corroded copper fragments, its translation is still debated by academics. Its directions remain, for the most part, untested, unexplored officially. And its secrets, well, they remain quietly guarded, maybe by more than just the passage of time.
What's really striking, though, is that the Copper Scroll story, as weird as it is, doesn't really stand alone, does it? It kind of echoes other big global mysteries.
Oh, that's a great point. When you zoom out, you see these common themes popping up elsewhere. Think about the legends of hidden chambers under the Sphinx in Egypt.
The Hall of Records.
Exactly, supposedly holding ancient wisdom. Or the persistent stories about the lost archives from the Library of Alexandria, not destroyed, but secretly preserved.
Right, saved by secret societies again.
And the Templar treasure itself, supposedly moved across Europe, maybe even to the Americas, always kept hidden.
So there's this recurring pattern.
A very strong underlying theme. Knowledge being suppressed, treasures or important artifacts deliberately hidden, and often there's this idea that their discovery is being delayed until humanity is somehow ready.
Ready for what, though? That's the kicker.
Who knows? But it positions the Copper Scroll as maybe not just a unique Israeli mystery, but one piece of a much larger global puzzle. A puzzle about hidden history, stretching way back.
And some theories take that puzzle piece and connect it to something. Well, cosmic.
Right, this is where it goes furthest out. The ultimate theory, you could say, is that the treasures listed in the Copper Scroll, they weren't even human in the first place. Meaning they could be relics left behind by extraterrestrial visitors. Artifacts preserved by ancient priests or groups who maybe recognized their power but had no clue about their actual origin.
So the descriptions, the gold and silver,
could be symbolic, or maybe just the best way ancient people could describe advanced materials or energy sources they didn't understand. Things that gleamed, things that seemed valuable.
And the Ark of the Covenant fits perfectly here again.
As the prime candidate for a piece of powerful, misunderstood alien technology, hidden away, guarded for millennia, its true function perhaps lost or deliberately obscured.
So under this theory, the Copper Scroll changes completely.
It's not a treasure map. It's not even just a map to lost human knowledge. It potentially becomes a survival manual, a record of where to find and maybe how to secure technology that's literally out of this world.
It's an incredible thought.
Yeah.
You look at this corroded piece of copper, and it might be pointing to that.
It fundamentally changes how you view it.
So wrapping this up, the Copper Scroll is just fascinating because, as you said right at the start, it's not like the other Dead Sea Scrolls. It doesn't pray. It doesn't offer prophecy.
Okay. It records, it instructs, it lists locations.
And whether that list leads to actual gold or to forbidden texts that could rewrite our history books or even maybe to alien artifacts, one thing seems absolutely certain.
What's that?
It points to something that someone long ago wanted, deliberately hidden, concealed, kept secret.
And in our world, where knowledge really is power, that potential makes the Copper Scroll possibly the most dangerous document ever discovered.
Maybe one day we'll crack it. Maybe the code, if there is one, will be broken. Maybe the locations will be fully explored, the treasures, whatever they are, finally unearthed.
Maybe.
But until that day comes, it just remains this incredible riddle etched in metal. A whisper from the past, from the shadows, maybe still guarded by secret hands, just waiting for someone bold enough to seek out forbidden truth.
It definitely leaves you wondering.
It really does. We've explored some wild possibilities today, following the threads of this mystery. But it makes you think, doesn't it? What other hidden truths, what other buried secrets do you believe are still out there, just waiting for us to uncover?